What's up, Facebook fam? It's your girl, Gail Crowder, and guess what? It is Tuesday, and you know what happens on Tuesday? We have Wife Chat Tuesday, and I'm so excited about the topic we're going to be talking about tonight. It's a continuation of what we kind of started last week. So hopefully you guys were able to tune in last week. If not, go watch the chat from Tuesday. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure that you go share the word. Hi, Yolanda. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you go and tell people that Wife Chat Tuesday is going down right now. And again, I want to thank you guys for joining me and for spreading the word. Last week we had a rich conversation, and I kind of wanted, when we left off, I said I was going to kind of continue on a subject, just getting your husband to understand your emotional needs. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight on Wife Chat Tuesday. So as I get ready to really dive into what we're going to be talking about, thank you so much, Joy, for joining me. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. Go spread the word that Wife Chat Tuesday is going down. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much for joining me, Christy and Cynthia. You guys, thank you so much. Continue to spread the word that Wife Chat is going down. This is something that that we're going to talk about. Thank you guys so much, Debbie. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you guys joining me. Go share and tell everybody why chat is going down. Again, hopefully you guys was able to watch last week. Was talking about it, and I really wanted to continue when I left off where we were talking about emotions, right? Because we as women are very emotional beings. And so I wanted to kind of get, really get us to understand, and getting our husbands to understand our emotional needs. Of course, everybody's emotional needs are different. And I understand that. So I'm just going to go over some general things that you can get to start the process of your husband really understanding your emotional needs. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies. I truly appreciate it. I hope you're spreading the word that Wife Chat is going down. For you guys that don't know me, I am Gail Crowder, the One Sexy Wife. I've been doing this for the last 10 years. So, you guys can, hit me up on my social media and find more about me, because nobody really, I guess cares. But I just wanted to tell everybody who I am and how I'm qualified to do this work. And so getting to understand your husband's emotional needs, again, can be a challenge, especially when communication has been broken down, especially when you have tried to express your emotions or, have a conversation about how you're feeling about things and how you're really in this space that they can't understand, right? And I used the example last week of, sometimes we as women, when we say, I'm just not feeling good, right? So for the most part, when you tell a man you're not feeling good, they will go to the things, oh, what is wrong with you? You got a headache. Oh, is your stomach hurting? Oh, is it time for your cycle? What's hurting you, your hip, your head, or whatever? They automatically go there. But we sometimes as women just say we don't feel good. And it's not that something is physically hurting us. It's just that something is off about, how you're moving and how you're thinking and all of those different kind of things. And you can categorize those in so many different ways. You might just be feeling depressed. You might be feeling bloated. You might, any of those things can happen, right? And really getting and being able to articulate what your emotions are and what your emotion needs is a roller coaster ride sometimes when it comes to dealing with our spouses. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you guys getting on. So the first thing I want to really dive into is really asking for what you need or what your emotional needs are, and being able to articulate them, right? And sometimes they're very, very hard, especially when you don't really know what they are. And so I always try to tell women, when you are dealing with men, they are very black and white. There's no gray areas with them. It's either black or it's white, right? And you have to be very, very precise, and you have to have a checklist. And sometimes when you're dealing with emotions, it's very hard to put that in a list, and I get it. But I will tell you that if you're able to just sit down and say, you know, emotionally, right now, I am not feeling connected to you, and this is why I feel that there's a disconnect. And I'm just going to use this one example, right? If you are not feeling that you are, or you and your husband are emotionally connected, right? And what do I mean by emotionally connected? Like when, you know, at some point in time, if you've been married long enough, you can look at your husband and he can pretty much tell what you're thinking. Say, for instance, if he says something out of his mouth and you're in a setting with another couple, you can give him that look like, and he knows, uh-oh, I done said something, right, that is inappropriate, or it did make Gail mad, right? And so that's being emotionally in tune. You guys know each other's behaviors, you know, all of those different kind of things. But when you're in a situation where you're feeling like you're not feeling appreciated in a situation, and you say, I'm not feeling appreciated, right? Then he will probably come back and say, well, tell me how. And if you're not able to articulate that, that is going to cause you to get frustrated and for him to blank out. And you're going to be like, you don't understand what I mean? No, I don't understand what you mean. You need to put that in words. And it just becomes this back and forth things. So really, when you have a conversation with your spouse, you really want to be able to articulate it. And I always say, write it down. Say, I feel emotionally disconnected from you. This is how. For one, when you come in, you used to give me a hug. 2, you used to give me a kiss. 3, you used to send me a text message. I'm just using these as an example, right? And this is how I think we need to reconnect, and give them an example how you guys used to be connected and how you think you guys can reconnect. Because again, that gives them a starting point, and that gives them a reference point. Am I making sense? You guys better talk back to me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys are getting this, because again, you have to communicate with men. And I know there's some men on here. Derek, I see you. There is some men on here, and if I'm teaching to, you know, really how to reach you guys, I would like for you guys to jump in. All you men that's on here, jump in here. And if you ladies have experienced what I'm talking about, jump in here, because again, we're chatting about this, and I really want you guys to get something out of this and be able to utilize some of these tools and techniques I'm talking about. So that's the first thing. Really ask for what you want, and really have a game plan to articulate what it is that is missing emotionally or physically or whatever, and how you can get that back, and give them examples when it was going good. And not say, well, when, you know, not be nasty, but just say, you know, honey, when we used to do this, and we used to do that, that really, you know, made me emotionally connected to you, or that was when I felt that our marriage was at our strongest, or that's when I felt that we was communicating the best, whatever the situation is. And this is how I think we should get it back. I think we should, on Sunday, sit down and map out our week, whatever it is, have what was working and how we can get it back. The second thing, ask for one thing at a time. Again, men are very black and white. They're very checklist oriented. You cannot sit down with a man and say, I want this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, this is what's wrong, because you're going to miss them at the third this. You're gonna just lose them. Because again, you want to be able to give them examples, give them, a win, And then you also want to give them how you can get back to where you guys were. And if you give them a long checklist, they will check out on you and they will do nothing. But if you give them one thing that y'all can reconnect emotionally with, and you foster that thing, and you tell them how it's working and how this is making you feel that he's now doing that, I guarantee you, when you add the second item, right, he'll continue to do that first, and then that second one he'll begin to work on. But when you give them a long list, that is not how they operate, and that's not how they process information. I'm not saying every man is the same, but I've been doing this work for over 10 years, and I've been married 30 years on July the 20th. I understand. So just make sure that you give them one emotional disconnect or one thing that is bothering you at a time. Do not overload them, because, and I'll use this example. When you send them to the grocery store, you can send me to the grocery store and you can say, Gail, bring me back an onion, bring me back, you know, some Pampers, bring me back some wipes, bring me back cold soda, and you can give me the list. I could be talking on the phone with my girlfriend, hearing your list, and I will get to the store and I will bring everything back. If you tell a man the same exact thing and you don't write it down, they will call you, because they want to make sure, even though they're in the pamper section, what brand do you want? They're going to call you if you don't give them a list. That's the same way when you're communicating other situations, especially situations that they really don't want to talk about, right? Hey, boo-boo, my man and I are watching you together. He said, who is this? I want to send her some flowers. Please send me some flowers. I love them. And so it is true. So don't overwhelm them. One thing at a time. And you're like, oh, Gail, they grow men. They just process information totally different. I have an amazing man that I've been married to 30 years. He is smart as a whip. But if I send him to the store with 1,000 different things and I talk to him about 1,000 different other subjects besides what he was going to, he's going to call me, because he wants to make sure that he pleases me. He wants to make sure that he doesn't miss anything, but he's going to call me. So just make sure that whenever you're approaching a subject, especially one that is hard and difficult, do not go in there with a whole bunch of shenanigans. Say what you mean what you say, and be quiet and allow them to process the information. And they might not have an answer for you at that time. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay that they don't fire off all the answers that you want at that given time. Because I used to want to have a powwow, and I wanted Gail to respond right then and there. And again, they don't process information the way we process. Because see, for us, it's like, let me get this off my chest, and I need an answer to this problem right now. To them, it's like, okay, this is not a life and death situation, so it can wait. Or they just might want to give you an answer that you can live with, because again, if they give you the wrong answer, that's going to set you off as well, right? Okay. Number 3, that leads me into managing your expectations, right? You don't get disconnected. Your emotions don't get hurt. Your feelings don't get hurt all in one day. It's a process. And just like it takes a process to get there, it takes a process to get back where you want you guys to be. So I've learned to send him a list and follow up with a call. Absolutely. That's a good way to handle it. So you're less frustrated, Kimberly, and he's less frustrated, right? Because he ain't got to call you, right? And so manage your expectations. Everybody's expectations of certain things is different. And once you get in sync with somebody, you understand that they're you know, for me, I'm a high energy person. I am like, oh my God, so-and-so just, you know, was on the radio. I'm like on a 10, right? I'm like just on a 10. And my husband's like, okay, that's nice. Excuse me? You're supposed to be on the team with me. You're supposed to be excited. Like, you know, on Friday, I was on Tom Joyner. I was like, oh my God, Gail, they called me. I'm gonna be on it. Like I was like, and he's like, okay, gee, that's nice. And I'm like, excuse me, you know, and so I had to manage my expectations. Not that he was not happy for me, but he's not one that's gonna jump from the rafters like me and my girlfriends because somebody calls me and wants me on the radio or TV or something. He's happy for me. He understands what it can do for the call on my life. He supports me, but he's not gonna be out with no pom-poms like my girlfriends are. So I have to learn to manage my expectations, right? And even though I want him to, you know, fall all out like I was doing, that's not him. He ain't been like that for 30 years. So the question becomes is, did I think that he wasn't happy for me? No, because I've learned to manage my expectations. And so wherever you are in your relationship, whatever you're asking of your spouse, understand his temperament, understand how he responds and acts under pressure, understand how he responds under stress or situations that are not easy to deal with. Some men close off and don't say a word. Other men, you know, will get, you know, defensive. But you got to manage that. You have to understand that some of the things that you want out of the relationship is not going to be easy to talk about, right? And especially if you or he knows that you're falling short in that area. And I'm talking to women about men, but there are some women that need this information because they're the ones who are not emotionally understanding what's going on with their spouse. Because I used to be that person. Okay. Number 4, celebrate the wins. And what do I mean by that? Celebrate when you are able to communicate, you're able to see results of what you're desiring emotionally. Say, honey, I thank you so much that after we had this talk, right? Or after, you know, this happened, that we're back on the same page. I truly appreciate it. It's making me feel, you know, X, Y, and Z. You know, we're very easy to spout off all the wrong things. Be just as easy to spot off the things that they do right, because they do a lot of things right. And what I love about when I have the opportunity to coach women, I always say, tell me 2 things that are going right in your marriage or your relationship, right? And I get this, you know, I get that. Well, the minute I ask, tell me the 2 things that are going wrong, oh, we can spit that out plus 20 more within less than 5 seconds. So we need to start learning to reverse that. And again, I get it. Because I was that person. I could give you a laundry list in 2 seconds of everything that was going wrong with Gail. But then I had to start saying, what is going right? What is he doing right? Thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. What is going right? What is he doing right? Because it's easy to think of all the negative things, but think about all the positive things. And then you have to say, and if he's so bad, if he's so negative, if he's so disconnected, why am I still here? That's the question. That's the question I had to ask. The guilt is so, all of these things that I could spurt out negative, what does that say about me? Right? And so really understanding and celebrating the wins. That's important. Everybody needs to be celebrated, including your husband, right? Even the small things. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Everybody needs to be celebrated. So again, make sure that you celebrate the wins. Number 5, ask God to intervene in your situation. If all the things that we talked about prior, ask God to intervene, because he will and can change any situation. I am a believer of that. Ask him to intervene. Ask him to show you what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. Because your emotions, right, are important when it comes to this relationship. His emotional well-being is important. But you have to come to a meeting of the mind when you're really wanting your husband to understand your emotional needs and really getting what you want. And again, I will say this, the last thing I'm going to say is sow for everything that you want, right? When I wanted more love and I wanted more affection, I sowed for that in my marriage. Even though I felt like, oh my God, I have nothing left to give, right? I sowed. Okay, I want more affection. I'm going to show that. I'm going to sow that. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to kiss you. I'm going to do for you. Even when I don't think you deserve it, even when I'm tired, I'm going to still do it. And I will tell you, every seed that I have sown has came back to me. And so I believe in sowing for every single thing that I want. I do, in every area of my life. And so if you're in a situation where you and your spouse is emotionally disconnected and you like, Gail, I have nothing left to give, try it. And I gave you ladies that was on here last week a 7-day challenge. And I hope that you guys are doing it, because I will tell you, when you pray and you sow for an amazing marriage, you can have it. Because I know what it is to be in an absolute disconnected, horrible, no romance, no intimacy, just two people living in a house. I understand what that looks like. But I also understand what it is to sow, to pray, and to change things in the atmosphere. And I will tell you, when you walk in my house, you see love, peace, harmony, not perfection, because nobody's perfect, but you see it. Me and Gail are so connected. I could just look at him and know, and he could look at me and know, right? And that's when you're working under one flesh, right? That is truly when you're working under one flesh. And so again, I'm going to repeat the steps for really getting your husband to understand your emotional needs. And then I'm going to go back and read, and I always go back and read all of you guys' comments. If you have something to add to the discussion, I am so open to that. The first thing is ask for what you want. Ask for what you want, but be very specific in what you want. Don't go in there with a whole bunch of stuff, because remember, men are very black and white. Ask for what you want. The second thing is ask one thing at a time. If you give them too much, you're going to get nothing done, because they're going to feel overwhelmed. So ask for one thing, right? Number 3, manage your expectations. Because again, our expectations and their expectations is totally different. So you need to manage them. Number 4, celebrate the wins. Everybody needs encouragements. Everybody needs to hear that you're doing a good job. Everybody needs to say, keep it going. I love you. I appreciate that you made these changes. Number 5, ask God to intervene. And I know most people are like, yeah, that should have been at the top of your list. But let me just tell you, we live in a real world, and I live where I meet the people that follow me, and people know that I'm a woman of God or whatever. But I get a chance to talk to women from all over the world, and sometimes they're like, Gail, I just can't pray, I can't see it, God ain't answering or whatever. And I understand that, but he still is. He still is answering prayers every single day. Every time you get a chance to take a breath, he still is. So I get that. And number 6 is sow for everything that you want. Even when it looks like those seeds are not being planted, they are. They really are. They really are. And so let me go back and read some of you guys' comments. And I thank each and every last one of you guys for joining Wife Chat. Hi, Charlotte. That's my sister. How are you? Love you. Good evening. Hello, everybody. None of my men said anything, so I learned to send him a list and follow up with a call. I love that. That was about me when I was talking about going to the store or something like that. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. All right, now tell it. Thank you very much. Hi, Rochelle. How are you? Hi, Joy. I'm sorry, I'm going back and just making sure I didn't miss anything. But again, I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight on Wife Chat. If you need me, you know how to get in contact with me. You can hit me up on all my social 8 o'clock sharp Eastern Standard Time. And again, I love you guys to pieces. I would tell you guys to go visit my calendar for a free 30-minute consultation, and you're welcome to do that, but the space is so limited because after being on Time Joiner, my calendar went berserkers, and I thank God for that. So again, you guys just know tomorrow, y'all be praying, y'all just be praying, like praying hard, that I actually nailed down a location for my Ultimate Wife Summit, because I need to, hello. I need to really nail this down because I have so many women that are like, Gail, I'm ready to get started. Even though it's March of 2019, God is a big vision. And so I want to nail down a location. So y'all be in prayer that everything works out. And that God shows me favor with negotiating and all that kind of stuff. I know y'all, it's a prayer warriors on this chat. So I want to touch and agree that that I find a location for the Wife Summit. He showed me downtown DC, so I am really sticking to what God has shown me. Hello, Eric. How are you? You and your beautiful wife. I am so committed to sticking to the vision that God has showed me in my dreams, that we will have it in downtown DC. They're not used to working with a solopreneur and doing something of this magnitude. So I am asking for you guys to go in prayer that God shows me favor, because he showed me that it needed to be on a metro line, that we needed to be close to the airport, and that he is God all by himself. So I'll be doing that. So y'all just be in prayer for that. But again, I love you guys to pieces. And I will see you guys next Tuesday on Wife Chat. Have a good night.